Hello, my fabulous family. I know I usually greet with wonderful friends, but I am feeling like we are family here now because I have a lot of like-minded people. We are like-minded people. We are intelligent. We're humorous. We're nice. But we are also human and become very annoyed with this individual and many others who've done horrible things. So from now on, it's my fabulous family. I hope you all are doing well. I am just trying to work on putting out more videos because I know that's something I like to watch. I just like to have those things. It's your family, because in a lot of ways, especially now that I'm starting to try to get more stuff out, I spend more time with you than my family or some of my closest friends. So there you go with that. And thank you so much for your comments. I was reading some from the video I put out, I guess it was last night, with our lady Erin, who was I thought she was so awesome with Brooks, handled him beautifully. And you're right, whoever said it, that's probably why he wasn't looking at much. But all of your comments were wonderful and understanding about what I was trying to say about the students, whom I really do love. And it's just like the same with my own kids. So I'm going to get aggravated. I know I don't have to explain, but I appreciate your comments and your support and understanding. And those of you who have been in that type of work or have had family members, it really is, the aggravation is usually a lot more with parents and other people than the kids themselves. So there's that. But I just want to tell you all, thank you all so much for your wonderful comments. So I am going to continue on. And we have, today we're going to see Anthony Winters, who was the Lyft driver, and Daniel Ryder. This is what's coming close to the arrest. He's the one who was so kind and let Brooks into his home, made him a sandwich, let him use his coat. I think didn't he get him slippers? Well, we'll find out in his testimony. I think he tried to offer him slippers. And just like, he is like, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, but Daniel Ryder, he is just like, I don't know if I want to use the word wholesome. That sounds so old-fashioned, but he's just as, I don't know, just as wholesome. And he probably isn't, but he's just so kind and, whoops, sorry about that. He was just so kind and gracious and, and also really helped facilitate the arrest, unbeknownst to him, of our buddy Darrell here. So I just thought he was a really stand-up guy. And the poor Lyft driver, waiting and waiting and waiting. But anyhow, so we'll start with Anthony Winters, who was the Lyft driver. And following him will be Daniel Ryder. So let's get on with it. And you are welcome ahead of time because I spared you, because prior to the jury coming back in and after the last witness, Aaron, of course, he brought up the subject matter jurisdiction. And I think I'd even recorded this before where she'd given him this second paper about that. And then, of course, he promptly tore it up in a dramatic fashion. And I just thought, we don't really need to hear all that. We've heard enough of that. Let's just get on with testimonies. So here we go without further ado.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. State may call its next witness.
The state will call Anthony Winters.
All right. Good morning, sir. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is on my right. It is upper riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record, and then spell each.
Anthony Winters, Anthony Winters.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, direct your attention to November 21st, 2021. Were you working in the city of Waukesha that day?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was driving Lyft.
Can you explain for those few people, I think, who don't know what Lyft is, Can you explain what that is?
It's a rideshare app where people can request rides point A to point B.
Now, some people use Uber. Is that similar?
Yes, same thing. Yeah.
And is that your full-time job?
No,
Did you go to the parade, the city of Waukesha parade that day?
I did not.
Were you aware that the parade was in downtown Waukesha that day?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, he may answer.
Yes, I was.
How were you aware of that?
Everything was blocked off and there was heavy police presence, and then I saw kind of the convoy going.
Okay. So you say everything was blocked off. What do you mean by that?
Like a lot of the streets, when I was having to go pick up people, a lot of the streets were blocked off, so I couldn't go certain ways.
Do you recall approximately what time you started driving that day?
It was around like 3:25.
Mr. Winters, do me a favor. If there is an objection that's been raised by either party, wait to answer the question. I'll rule on the objection, and then I'll let you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So the objection's noted, it's overruled, and you may continue answering.
Yes, ma'am.
You said
3:25.
Thank you. And do you know approximately how many fares you took that day?
That
Objection,
day,
speculative.
Oh my
Overruled,
gosh.
you may answer.
that day it was probably anywhere from like about 11 or 12, somewhere in there.
Were your clients all from the city of Waukesha? Was that the general area they were working?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled, you may answer.
No. I just happened to be in that area at that time.
At some point after do you know approximately what time you got done working that night?
Oh, it was probably later, around like 10, 11 o'clock that night.
When you got home, did you see anything on the news?
No.
At some point, did you become aware of an incident that had occurred during the city of Waukesha Christmas parade?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled, he may answer. His answer may stand.
Generally, what information did you obtain?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Poor fellow.
When I saw a bunch of police cars going, I contacted my sister because my niece goes to school at Carroll, and I was wondering what was going on. She told me something that wasn't even true that was going on, but later, after the next day after watching the news and social media, I found out what happened.
Looking back, when you were working November 21st, 2021, did anything seem relevant with regard to that news that you saw?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yeah, I had a call that was in the area, and it was just like a really weird call because no one ever showed up, but there was a very descriptive message that I got from the person that asked for the call about who I was looking for.
Okay, so I'm going to direct your attention to that day, November 21st, at approximately 5:15 p.m. What time did how do you receive communication when you get a client?
When you're signed into the app, it'll just pop up. You can accept it or you can decline.
So you say it just pops up. How does it pops up
on my cell phone?
Okay. And did you receive a fare request or a ride request at approximately 5:15
Objection,
p.m.?
leading.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yes, I did.
Sorry. Do you think Mr. Winters looks a bit perturbed by Brooks' constant objections? I think he does. Rightfully so. He's probably sitting there thinking, well, here I was, got this call from his mama. Never did show up. I waited. And I wonder if he ever got paid for it. And this isn't his only job. I know a lot of people who are Well, I say a lot. That's being a bit, that's exaggerating a little bit. A few people, they're Lyft drivers. Drivers? Did I say drivers? I meant drivers. And typically that's their second job. Like I have a psychologist friend that did that. So technically these people are working hard to support their family and all that. So they probably didn't have time for any of that kind of nonsense. But anyhow, here we go.
What information were you given with regard to that request?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. He may answer.
So the fare came in for Dawn.
Dawn. Who could Dawn be?
The address I was picking up at was, I think, was 550 Elizabeth. And it was an empty. Well, it wasn't empty. It was an empty parking lot, but it was a company that was closed. And then I was given information that I was looking for a light-skinned black guy with dreadlocks.
Okay. Now, when you say that the name associated with Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that mean to you? I'm not sure exactly how Lyft works, but...
That's just...
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
Oh, it's relevant.
That's just the name of the person that I'm picking up. That I'm assuming that's the person I'm picking up.
Okay. And were you in the city of Waukesha when that pop-up came on your phone?
Yes.
So what did you do?
I drove to the parking lot and waited for and hit that I arrived and waited for whomever was going to come out of the company.
And that would be, you said 550 Elizabeth Street?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's in the city of Waukesha?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive information as to where you're taking the person when you initially get the pop-up?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
When you initially get the request, you don't know where the person is going until you say that you arrived. Then you can see the address that they're going to.
Okay. So, did you eventually arrive at that location?
Yes.
What did you observe?
It was just a dark parking lot and a couple police cars on the street. No one was really around those. It seemed like it was like a closed building. I didn't know, it was empty parking lot, no one there.
Okay. And did you see anyone, both strike that. When you arrived at the location, do you send something through your app that says, I've arrived?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
Leading,
Yes,
please.
there's a button that you can just click and say I arrived, and it sends a message to the person letting you know that you're out. Let them know that you're outside and they have 5 minutes to come out.
Now, is that when you would get the destination on your app?
Yes.
And do you recall what that destination was?
I don't recall the physical address. I just know it was on 19th Street in Milwaukee.
So you sent that the automated message went out saying that you were there and that you give that person 5 minutes.
Yes.
What happened after 5 minutes?
I began to message with whomever the person was on the other end, letting them know that I was waiting outside and that I was in a white car.
And this is a chat feature as part of the app?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled. Your answer may stand.
And then what happened?
I received a message back letting me know who I was looking for and that they were calling a ride for someone else and they didn't know where he was. They then again gave me a description of who I was looking for.
And what was that description?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Ask and answer.
Overruled. You may answer.
A light-skinned black guy with dreadlocks.
After you were given that information, what did you do?
I sent a message saying I didn't see anyone. I received a message back saying I don't know where he is. His phone died. He called me from someone else's phone.
What did you do then?
At that point, I didn't know. It was a basketball court out there, so I thought I was waiting on a kid.
Okay.
So I didn't want to just leave.
Well, he was kind of.
So I got out my car. I knocked on the door at the company to see if anybody would come out. I rang the buzzer, got no answer. I got back in my car. I sent the message saying there's no one around. You know, could they, you know, make sure the person comes out, because I had already been past the 5-minute grace period.
Okay.
I got a message back saying I'll try to call them. I don't know what to tell you.
Then what happened?
At that point, I had been out there for about 7.5 minutes. So at that point, I just canceled the ride.
Approximately what time do you recall canceling the ride?
Objection, lead.
Overruled.
It was around 5:30ish,
Oh, sorry, I don't want to leave you like
somewhere
that.
around there.
Just something I noted. Well, one thing, totally nothing to do with anything really, but poor Attorney Basie. She sounds like she has a terrible cold. I noticed all of them at one time had one. I think I even remember, I think it was her crinkling her cough drop bag, but poor thing, she sounds miserable. Anyhow, I wonder if this Lyft driver, if Mr. Winters has testified before, because I'm thinking maybe Lyft drivers would testify, I don't know, for certain things, because just imagine. I know it was a Lyft driver that took, oh boy, and it happened here in Florida, and I can't think of the name of the guy, but it was terrible shooting in South Florida. Actually, the trial was around the same time Brooks's trial was. It finished up, and they were actually calling for the death penalty for the fellow, but he didn't get it. But I remember that when he was taken to the school to do, you know, do his thing that they do at schools, that he was taken by a Lyft driver. And the only reason I say I wonder if this guy's testified before is like he's just very well put together. And I notice he pays attention to when Brooks does his many objections. It's almost like somebody, like he's done it before. I don't know. That's just an observation. Anyhow.
And when someone requests a ride and they don't appear, is there a charge then to that person?
Objection, irrelevancy.
Yeah, there's a charge if they go past the 5-minute grace period. There is a charge.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further. Thank you.
There may be some questions. Any questions for this witness?
Yes.
Hope you don't take too long. Shuffling through those papers.
Do you remember about what time the call came in for the Lyft?
5:15.
I think, didn't Sherry ask him that? Maybe not. I feel like he just echoes the prosecution.
Do you recall being interviewed by any law enforcement in the days after that night?
Yes.
And do you know if that was by phone or in person?
It was in person.
Upon arriving at the destination, you were supposed to be giving a lift to someone. Do you recall if there was anything strange about the destination?
Yeah, it was a closed building. There was no one out there, no cars in the parking lot.
You said you canceled the ride around 5:30ish.
Yeah.
Do you recall what you did from that point?
I took another fare.
Same area or?
Same area.
And you made reference to someone telling you something that wasn't true that was going on. Do you recall what that was?
I do recall what that it was. My sister said that the school told my niece to stay in her dorm because there was an active shooting.
And usually, does your Lyft app have a profile picture attached to it?
No.
Do you recall when speaking to law enforcement, something to the effect of referring to a profile picture or description included in the profile?
I recall saying that there was no profile picture.
And were you able to see any phone numbers or contact information?
I was not. You can't see that stuff on the app.
Before you canceled the ride, do you recall the last contact with the person who had set the Lyft up?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they said, I don't know what to tell you, when I told them that I didn't see anyone.
And that was via text message?
It's a chat through the app.
He's no problem just wasting everyone's time. In case he talks and I start to talk. I remember one of you all made a comment. A couple of y'all did that. And I'll remember your names because I'll go back and reread. But one of you made a comment about how much time, something to the effect, and I've thought about this often, I'd love to know. I love a compilation of all the hours that he wasted like this, you know. If there was anybody who could count all the time, I guess there would be a way to do it. How much time he wasted. It would be a lot. And then another one of you all, I remember saying that him spending all that time looking at the papers. I don't have it exactly correct, but something to the effect of that he was being fed a lot of this sovereign citizen crap, which I think is total crap. My opinion, of course. If you think it's great, that's good, but that's just my opinion. Anyhow, so he had all this information, and he might have been reading stuff from that to be able to say things. And I'm sure he had all kinds of stuff in those stupid papers. Okay, here we go. And I don't even know what this person is going to do, would have done to help Brooks with his case. It's just an excuse for him to waste time.
You said usually, even if it's no pickup, there's a charge still associated with it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Mama Brooks ever paid it. Do you have a financial interest in this? Boy. Look at him. He's sitting there going, oh my gosh, that poor guy. Poor Mr. Winters.
Do you recall how many requests you completed after that failed one?
Approximately 8 to 10.
Again, what does this have to do with you saving yourself, Brooks? Okay.
And you did state that you were not at the parade that evening, right?
True.
Mm-hmm. Were you injured in any way? Oh, wait a minute. He wasn't at the parade.
Okay, good question.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Any redirect?
Thank you.
No. All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Because you got nothing. And you already got whooped by Aaron. Sir Winters, though, was very, like I said, I feel like he's testified
State may
before.
call its next witness, please.
The state calls Daniel Ryder.
Look at that camera lens. It's a huge camera lens that reporter has.
Good morning, Mr. Ryder. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right. It is up a riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat.
Good Samaritan sandwich
First thing I will
man.
ask you to do is to state and spell your first and last names for the record.
Daniel Ryder, Danielrider.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, do you live in the city of Waukesha? I do. Where were you living back on November 21st of 2021? 553 Elizabeth Street. Were you living there, were you home there that afternoon and early evening, that Sunday afternoon? I was. Was anybody else home with you? No. Can you describe what that residence looks like? Is it a single-family house, multi-unit? What's it look like? Yeah, it's
Overruled. You may answer.
it's a three or four bedroom house with 2 bathrooms. It's a Cape Cod style home, land and stone. It's got a 2.5 car garage. Okay. Do you know what Aries Industries is? Yeah. Where is Aries Industries in relation to the house you're describing?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. Witness may answer.
Yeah, Aries is right across the street from my house.
That afternoon, November 21st, were you aware that the Waukesha Christmas Parade was taking place?
Yes, I was aware of the parade.
Did you attend the parade?
No.
Did you watch the Packer game?
I did watch the Packer earlier that day, but I was watching the Chiefs-Cowboys game that evening. Or that, I think it was afternoon. I don't know exactly what time it was, but...
Do you recall what happened at approximately 5 o'clock p.m. that day?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. He may answer.
Yeah, so earlier that day I was in my hometown, Prairie du Chien, for deer season, and then I drove back to Waukesha. I got home in Waukesha, I went home in Waukesha around 4 o'clock, and I was watching the game, and then about 5 o'clock my Ring doorbell goes off, and then there's a gentleman at my front porch knocking on the door saying that they're homeless, they're cold, and they need to use my phone so that they can tell their Uber where to pick them up.
What did that gentleman look like?
He was African American. He had long hair and a beard.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Yeah, he had a like a red T-shirt, reddish orange T-shirt, and no shoes on, pants. But I remember it stood out to me because it was cold and really windy that day, and he was outside with a T-shirt and no shoes and saying he's really cold. So that stood out.
You mentioned a few moments ago your Ring doorbell. Is that a device affixed to your exterior door frame?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
It's fixed to the outside of my porch, so not quite on the door, but just next door to the door. Yeah.
Okay. And does that capture video?
Yeah.
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Yes.
What about audio?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Did your Ring video doorbell capture the video and audio of your initial interaction with that gentleman on the afternoon of November 21st?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
The Ring doorbell, when it senses motion, it takes a 20-second snippet, and the 20 seconds that I got from the initial interaction was just the suspect coming up to my house and knocking on the door and saying he's homeless and needs help. I didn't get the verbal interaction that I had with him on the Ring doorbell because it only filmed 20 seconds.
After the fact, so later that evening, did you speak with law enforcement?
Yes.
And did you subsequently at some point provide that 20-second Ring video doorbell clip to a law enforcement officer?
Yes.
Did you edit it in any way before sending it?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
No, and there was 4 or 5 different snippets, not just the one 20-second snippet. So there was one, the initial interaction of him coming to the door, and then there was another one of him leaving, and then an interaction there, and then the police coming to the door and him asking to come back inside the house when I wouldn't let him in. So there's 4 clips that I submitted, 4 or 5 that I submitted to the police.
All right, let's work our way through those. Let's start, Your Honor. I'd ask that we please show exhibit number 75 for the witness only.
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
Please.
Do you see a video on the screen in front of you?
I do.
What are we looking at here?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
This is Mr. Brooks coming up to my door.
You said Mr. Brooks. Did you know his name at that time?
Not at the time, no.
When did you learn that name?
The officers were using it after the fact, so I don't know, about 5:30 or so that day.
Does this appear to accurately depict your front porch as it looked as that subject walked up to your door?
Yes.
And this is the video you sent to law enforcement that night, or sometime after that night?
Yes.
Move exhibit 75 into evidence and ask to publish.
Objection.
Exhibit 75 is received permission to publish. Granted.
Objection.
It's noted. Overruled.
As we're waiting for that to pop up in the jury box on their screens, I'll ask you, Mr. Ryder, do you see a date and timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner of this video?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
I do.
Is that a timestamp that's a feature of Ring, or was that added after the fact?
Objection.
Overruled.
It's a feature of Ring. I didn't add that, yeah.
And to your knowledge, does that timestamp appear to be accurate?
Objection.
Overruled.
Speculative.
Yes, that is accurate.
For the record, the objection was overruled.
This is a 20-second clip. I'm going to ask that we play it once with audio.
Hey, I'm calling an Uber, and I'm supposed to be waiting for it over here, but I don't know when it's coming. Can you call it for me, please? I'm homeless.
Can we pull that back up just to look at the timestamp one more time? Thank you. And just for those of us with not the greatest eyesight, would you mind reading that timestamp on the bottom right hand at the beginning of this exhibit?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yeah, it says November 21st, 2021, and the timestamp says 17:01, so 5:01 p.m.
Okay. The voice we heard in that exhibit that we just played, whose voice is that?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Objection.
You may answer, sir.
It's Mr. Brooks's voice.
It's not yours.
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd ask that Mr. Brooks please be instructed to remove his face mask momentarily.
Sir, would you please remove your face mask and face the witness?
Was that a question of...
The state's asked their, sir,
Take
please
off your
remove
damn
face
mask.
and face the witness.
I'm confused. He made a statement about voice.
The question's been asked and answered. Please remove your mask.
What was the question?
Take off your damn mask.
Please remove your mask and face the witness.
Being a bit combative.
Mr. Ryder, do you see the person
Ooh,
depicted
looks like
in
he's trying to
exhibit number
snarl.
75
Rude.
in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you identify him for us by telling us where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He's sitting at the table right there wearing a black suit and a gray striped tie.
And as the record reflect that the witness has identified Mr. Brooks.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant as the person depicted in this video and the person who was on his porch on November 21. Go ahead.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. For the record.
Yeah. For the
Go ahead,
record,
your next question.
we don't care.
Thank you. What happened in the moments after this video, the 20 seconds that were captured?
So he was on my porch for, I don't know exactly, a minute maybe, and he was telling me the interaction, or he was telling me that he needed to use my phone to let his Uber know where to pick him up, and that he was homeless and cold, and he said he didn't have any weapons or anything on him, and he lifted his shirt real quick, and I was like, no, it's okay, you can use my phone, and I let him come inside and warm up. I just tend to believe people, and I'm from a small town, and we had people that need help all the time. People live right off a highway, so I'm used to, didn't faze me too much. I mean, I was nervous for sure, but I was like, yeah, I can use my phone. And he made it sound like the Uber was going to be here just any second, just needed to know where to pick him up. So I said, yeah, you can come and warm up while you wait for the Uber. And I let him sit on the couch right by the window out front. I said, you can look out here waiting for your Uber. And he's on the phone most of the time after that with his mom. And he's saying the address 553 Elizabeth Street is where it needs to come, and how far away is it, kind of things like that. But okay, I guess is that what you're wondering, or?
Let me back up.
Yeah.
You made a motion with your hands there regarding what Mr. Brooks said about not being armed. You do that again, just for anybody who missed it?
Objection. I don't know. Not consent to being called that name.
Go ahead.
Again, for the record.
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly what the motion was. I remember him saying he didn't have any weapons and he's not dangerous. And I think he lifted his shirt really quickly. But then I was like, don't worry, I'm not worried about that. And so I didn't, it's not like I patted him down or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you let him in the front door that would be right next to your video doorbell?
I actually...
Oh.
I can rephrase.
Go ahead, rephrase.
What door did you let Mr. Brooks into your home?
I let him in the back door.
Consent to being called that name.
Oh, shut up.
Overruled. Go ahead, you may answer.
Yeah, the back door.
So he went around the side of the house to get to the back door?
That's right.
What happened when he got to the back door?
I don't remember exactly. I remember letting him in. Well, I remember, so I just got back hunting, so I asked him to go through the back door so I could make sure I didn't have any weapons laying around. And so after that was good, then I let him in the back door. It's more just to give me a second to make sure nothing was tempting or anything. But I let him in the back door, and I think I gave him a coat right away, and then gave him my phone, and then told him where to sit down. And when I told him to sit in the spot, he didn't move or anything. He stayed right there and listened to me.
What else did you give him?
I gave him a sandwich because he said he was homeless. And I said, I can get you some slippers to put on your feet to warm your feet up.
Slippers.
I never did end up giving him slippers. But yeah, so I gave him a jacket to wear while he was at my house. I
Nice
gave
guy.
him a spot to sit and wait for the Uber and a sandwich.
You testified earlier that he was on the phone with his mom. How do you know that?
Objection. Respectfully to you.
Overruled.
A few reasons. I heard him say "mama" a lot, and his mother called me, and I didn't answer. But his mom called and left a voicemail after the fact,
Ooh,
confirming it.
voicemail.
Whose phone was he using while he was inside your house?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
Oh, it's
He was
relevant.
using my personal cell phone.
How would you describe his demeanor as he was inside your house?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I would say flustered, but also there were many times he was thanking me, and so he was grateful, and he even said, "Thank you so much for showing me love, man," and he was calling me bro, and so it wasn't, I guess that didn't make me feel like I was in any danger at the moment.
Did Mr. Brooks leave your home at some point?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Ah, shut up.
Overruled. You may answer.
I'm sorry, I lost train of thought. Can you say it again?
Did he leave your home at some point?
Yeah, he left when I asked him to. So he was in my house for 8 or 9 minutes, and then I was standing on the front door looking outside because I was getting a little nervous because I thought the Uber would be there in a minute or two, not 10. And so after 8 or 9 minutes, I'm looking around outside and I see a police car drive by, and then I see another one coming down the street. And so I tell him, I say, "Hey, we don't get a lot of police traffic on this street, and I'm getting nervous, and this is just too weird of a situation. You're fine to wait for your Uber, but you need to do it outside of my house." And he was a little bit like, "Oh, no, it's okay, don't worry, man, don't worry." And I said, "No, you need to leave." And then he listened and got up, and I've got video footage of that, of me escorting him outside of my house. He's still on the phone, and he's still got my jacket on, but I just said, "You need to leave." Do you want me to say, do you want me to keep going? Or?
I just want you to answer my questions. So,
Okay, yeah.
we'll pause there, though.
Sure.
And show for the witness only,
What a nice
please.
guy.
Exhibit number 77. We'll play a few seconds of this without any audio, and actually, to save time authenticating, Your Honor, I think we'll do this with the remaining 3 videos we have.
Go ahead. So this
So-
is
77, yep.
77. All right, thank you.
Play a few seconds, please, without, yep, there we go. Okay, we played 4 seconds from Exhibit 77. Do you recognize that clip?
I do.
And what is that?
It was Mr. Brooks walking out first with a jacket on, and me in a long-sleeve shirt, a gray shirt, walking out behind him.
Can we show for the witness only, please, Exhibit 78?
Go ahead.
We'll play the first couple of seconds of this one, too. Okay. We played the first 8 seconds of that. Did you recognize that clip?
Yes.
What does that show?
That shows Mr. Brooks after I had him leave and get my phone and jacket. He was outside, and then him asking to come back inside because he said he left his ID inside my house. And that was on the audio, but that sounded like he had the audio off for that.
And we'll show you 79 now without any audio as well, just for the witness. Okay. We played 8 seconds of Exhibit 79. Do you recognize that video?
Yep.
What does it show?
It shows an officer on my porch after the suspect was put into cuffs, asking if I knew who the suspect was.
Are Exhibits 77, 78, and 79 accurate depictions of your porch that night?
Yes.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
Move Exhibits 77, 78, and 79 into evidence and ask to publish all three, please.
Objection.
The objection is noted as to all three. It is overruled. Exhibits 77, 78, and 79 are received permission to publish. All three are granted.
Okay, 77 is up now for everybody. It's a 21-second clip. We're going to play it once with audio, please.
Before you do that, can we just confirm it's in the jury box? Not yet, okay. Let me know.
I guess while we're waiting, we can make use of this time. Mr. Ryder, could you read the time and date stamp for us on the bottom right-hand corner?
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
Oh, it's relevant.
Yeah, it's November 21st, 2021, 17:10, so 5:10 p.m.
Okay, we've got it up for the jurors. Let's play this once with audio. Do you see yourself in that video?
Yes.
What are you wearing in the video?
A gray shirt.
Overruled.
A gray shirt.
Did you hear the wind in that video?
Yes.
What do you recall being said in that portion of the video?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
I'm walking Mr. Brooks outside of my house, and my neighbor, Greg, says, "Are you guys looking for that guy?" And
Ooh.
I had no idea of anything at this point, and so I say, "I don't know. This might be him." You can hear that in the audio. I don't know if anybody was able to distinguish that, but that's what was said. And then Mr. Brooks says, "No, no, no." And then I say, "Can I have my phone, please?" And then after that, I say, "Can I have my jacket, please?"
Did he provide those items to you?
He did.
Can we put up for the jury, please, Exhibit 78? This is a 20-second clip. We will play it once with audio, please.
My ID! My ID!
Wow, look at the lights, man.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh,
Mr. Ryder, what happened during that video clip?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Mr. Brooks, or I should say the suspect, came to my door, asked to come back inside to look for his ID. I said, "No, I'll look for it. You stay out there." And I was looking underneath the couch and everywhere that he sat for his ID when I hear the police officers saying, "Put your hands up." And
Did you ever find that person's ID?
no,
Did that person leave anything else inside of your house?
no,
Flip-flops?
No.
Sweatshirt?
Objection, leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question. Please rephrase that last question.
What, if anything else, did that suspect leave in your house?
I don't.
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I didn't find anything left in my house.
Okay. Can we please show for the jury Exhibit 79? This is a 19-second clip. We will play it once with audio.
26, block 26.
at 18 seconds. That's the police officer you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you, just for the record, read for us the time and date stamp on the bottom right-hand corner here at the 18-second mark of exhibit number 79?
Yeah, it's November 21st, 2021, and the time is 17:12:59 seconds, so 5:12 p.m.
The video is a little bit blurry. Do you know where Mr. Brooks is at this point?
Objection leading, and I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The objections noted. You may answer the question.
Yeah, the suspect is on the east side of my walkway, on the northeast side of my house, in my yard. If you see where those two police officer heads are, the suspect is on the grass right there.
That's all I have for this witness. Thank you.
All right, any cross?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure this will be a doozy.
Okay.
That's some
Needing any of those
pretty
videos anytime?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
evidence. Pretty damning evidence, Darrell.
And before that evening, you didn't know the guy that came to your house, correct?
Correct.
And so why do you refer to him by name if you didn't know him?
Because he's polite.
Because after the fact, the police officers and other people involved informed me of who the suspect was that was at my house that night.
And it would be fair to say you captured, or your ring captured quite a little bit of video. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
And did you turn over all the ring footage to law enforcement?
I believe so. I mean, there was probably 7 or 8 other snippets of just officers coming in and out. I do believe I turned all that in, but nothing of evidence or anything.
And were you aware that the ring footage was shown on social media platforms?
I was aware, yes.
Any idea how that came about?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yeah, I released it.
Yeah.
And you released it. What do you explain what you mean by released it?
Yeah, the news wanted the footage, and I thought that this was good footage for this community and the victims to see some justice of the suspect put into cuffs, so I decided to release it.
Good for you.
And
Justice, man.
were you paid for that release?
I was.
Good.
So it would be fair to say that you profited off your ring footage.
Mm.
The incentive to release the footage was not to make money, and we donated a lot of money of the money we did see off of it, but yes, we did, the video did make money.
Do you recall how many videos you released?
I believe it was 4.
And you got paid for all 4?
Jealous.
I don't know if it was paid for a per video basis, or we were getting bombarded by the news, so we did it. We worked with the agent that then dealt with all the news people, and we just got some off the back end, so I don't exactly know how that works.
So would it be fair to say that you sold that footage?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that? The man did give you a damn sandwich, right? And a coat. Almost gave you slippers.
And you stated that you were, while having this interaction, you were a little nervous. That be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Did you feel like you were in any danger or just nervous?
I never felt like I was in danger until I saw the police driving by. Then I did.
But initially, your interaction, you didn't feel like you would be overtaken in any way?
No, and the person at my door was very polite, so I didn't feel in danger.
So he knows how to be polite when he wants to. When he wants something.
And you testifies to the effect that you had just arrived back home from hunting that evening?
That's correct. Well, not just arrived, but 4 o'clock probably got home, about 4:15.
At that time, had you heard anything about what happened at the parade?
No, all I knew was that there was a parade that day, but I had not heard of any incident happening at all.
At any time during your interaction with the suspect, did you notice any car keys?
No. It's not to say he didn't have any on him, but I didn't notice any.
You didn't notice any.
Nope.
That'd be fair to say.
Yep, that'd be fair to say.
Did you notice any drug or alcohol?
I didn't personally notice any drug or alcohol. I know there was some substance found on my porch after the fact, but I didn't notice. I think maybe I smelled a little bit of weed or something, but nothing stood out too much.
And you stated that you gave the suspect a jacket and a sandwich?
Yes, sir.
And was that due to the suspect saying that they were homeless and cold, or did you just take the initiative to do that?
I don't remember the suspect asking for food, but I do remember them saying multiple times that they were homeless and cold and needed help, and so I took the initiative to try to help any way I could in the moment. Yeah, I think I offered the jacket and the sandwich. I don't think they ever asked for either one.
But that sure was nice, wasn't it?
And you let them use your phone, correct?
Yes.
And how do you know for sure who they were talking to?
He said,
Because
Mama.
the number that they had called me back and left a voicemail saying that they were the mother of the person that just called. She said something to the effect of, "Hi, you just let my son use your phone. I'm calling back to figure out what's going on." And so that told me. And I did hear the suspect use mama when they were on the phone too.
Did you follow up with that voicemail?
I did not.
Grounds.
Overruled.
May I just clarify the basis was he didn't describe it as a voicemail?
He did. He said he left.
I thought he did, but
Yeah.
anyway, the objection's overruled. Did you finish asking your question? Why don't you just ask it again?
Did you follow up with the caller that left the voicemail after that?
I never called her back. No, she just called one time and left one voicemail. I did give the phone number to the police because they asked for it, so I gave them the number you had called and then told them about the voicemail calling me back. But I didn't release that to anybody else other than the police.
You should have made money off of that too.
Do you recall keeping that phone number in your call log after that?
I believe it's still in my voicemail history, if that's what you're wondering.
Even now?
Even now, yeah.
Any reason why you would keep it this long?
It's just, I didn't go out of my way to keep it. It just is on there. I don't get a lot of voicemail, so I checked this morning just to make sure it was on there, and it still is on the bottom of my list.
So why would you check for it this morning?
Because I thought maybe it'd come up today.
Yeah, and lo and behold, it
I
did,
don't remember
didn't
the
it?
exact number, but I still have the voicemail if I needed to bring that up.
Ah, very good. Ooh, Darrell, that's what you get for asking too many questions.
What led you to believe that it may come up this morning?
Who's on?
Because I knew I had to testify, but I didn't know what exactly would come up or
Very
not.
smart man.
What do you mean by you knew you had to testify?
Oh,
What
for
is that?
heaven's sakes. He
I
was
got a
subpoenaed.
subpoena and asked to come and share what happened at my house that day, and that was one of the things that happened.
Very key.
So you seeked.
He did not
testify.
seek. He did not seek.
Grounds.
It is argumentative.
Sustain us to the form of the question.
And we already went through this. When you're subpoenaed, you don't have a choice. When you're subpoenaed, you don't have a choice. But see, he's bringing, you know what? Darrell, oh, sorry, I don't like to have him in that, but there you go. Darrell, see, this is where he keeps hurting himself. He keeps bringing it up. Daniel Ryder, Mr. Ryder, was very smart to keep all that information. And he goes, oh, why did you think? Well, what do you think he was going to do? That was smart. And that's probably another good piece of evidence, I would think. This is a very damning testimony for you, Darrell.
So you made reference to still keeping the voicemail. Did you keep any of the ring footage?
It's still on my phone, yes.
Yeah, of course he would. Why wouldn't he?
You said it was like 6 or 7 videos?
I didn't keep anything past the officer coming up to my door after. So I think I've got only 4 saved, maybe 5.
Any reason why you would keep those this long?
That's kind of a dumb question. Why do you think?
Just haven't felt the need to get rid of them, I guess.
Why do you think, Darrell?
That video is protecting me, you know.
Absolutely.
From being involved or anything, so there's no reason I would ever get rid of it.
Yeah, there you
Would
go.
it be fair to say that You weren't involved in anything that evening?
He let you in the house.
Trying to help somebody who I thought was in need, I was not involved in anything that evening.
Yeah. Who's on trial
why
here?
Would you have any fear that you may be implicated in anything?
I feel like that's kind of argumentative.
If you know that you
a
weren't
little
involved
bit.
in anything.
Because I had a suspect who had just done horrendous things come to my house, and automatically people are going to think that maybe I had something, or I knew you or something, and I didn't.
Bravo.
And so this is just validating that you told me you were homeless and I was trying to help a stranger out when really... Sorry. What's the question?
He's fine. Don't ask him.
I mean, it would be fair to say that you weren't arrested in any connection to any events that evening. Would that be fair to say?
I think he needs to stop asking this question.
That'd be fair. I've never been arrested.
And so my question would be, why would you think that you would be implicated in any way?
He's protecting himself.
Grounds.
Asked and answered. Next question.
Thank you. Let's move this on. This is enough. Yeah,
And how do you feel that the keeping of the videos would protect you from something that you don't need protection from?
He already answered.
Asked and answered.
Thank you. Asked and answered.
I think I misspoke when I said that it was protecting me, because it's not necessarily protecting me. It's just something I haven't gotten rid of yet.
And I'm glad you didn't. You're not going to get your gotcha moment. You might as well just stop right now. Put the papers down and move on. Wouldn't you love to know what they're saying right now?
Do you recall interaction with law enforcement by the name of Officer Luling?
I do.
Do you recall emailing him portions of the ring footage?
Yes.
Do you recall how many portions?
Maybe 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly how many. So no, I can't recall that exactly how many I did.
Do you recall if it was 6?
If it says that, why don't you just say it? You're reading it. You're only making it worse for yourself.
I'm assuming at some point that after escorting the suspect out of your house, you went back into your house?
Yep.
And what did you do from that point?
Into the bathroom.
When I escorted the suspect out and he gave me the jacket and the phone back, I went right inside, locked the door, and I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I stood in there and looked outside because I wanted to see whatever was going on, see either the suspect get into an Uber and leave, or see the police get him in cuffs. And it was a matter of a minute later, the suspect came and was knocking on my door again to come back inside and look for the ID.
When asked asking for your phone and your jacket back, was there any resistance on the part of the suspect, or did they just?
Maybe a few seconds to finish up their phone call, but they gave it back as soon as I asked for it.
Excuse me, guys.
And you stated at one point going back in your house to look for the ID and wasn't able to find the ID?
Yeah, the suspect came back after I escorted him out of my house, came back like about a minute later, asking to come back inside and look for his ID. And I said, no, I'll look for it for you. So I was looking for his ID. I didn't let him back inside.
And you didn't find any ID when you looked?
No, I did not find any ID.
Did you find anything unusual?
No.
It's appalling how much time Brooks wastes.
And after seeing reports on the news and things of the like, did you come into any more information at that point?
Objection.
Grounds.
Vague.
Sustained us to the floor with a question.
Did you learn anything from news reports that you didn't know that evening?
Yes. After the fact, I learned of the suspect's criminal. Well, I guess. Sorry.
We're not going to go there.
Okay. I learned the name of the suspect at my house. I learned what that suspect was put into cuffs for at my house. And I learned what vehicle he drove and the details of the incident.
Did you observe the suspect in the vehicle at any time?
No.
Did you notice any vehicles parked in the area that you hadn't seen before?
No.
Silly questions, because they already found the
You
vehicle.
made reference to briefly speaking with neighbors at that time.
Yeah, when I was escorting the suspect out of my house, the neighbors said, "Are you guys looking for that guy?"
Oh
And
boy.
up to that point, I had no information of a person that you should be looking for. So I said, "No, this might be him."
Do you know what they were referring to at that moment?
Yeah, my neighbor was at the parade, and he was talking about the person driving the vehicle through the parade.
Oh.
And you knew all that at that moment?
No, I didn't learn about that until the police told me after the fact. I didn't know what he was referring to when he said, "Are you guys looking for that guy?" I didn't know anything about anything particular, but just that somebody's looking for a guy. And so then that's what led me to believe that
He was
the
the
suspect
guy.
in my house may be the person.
It would be fair to say at that time, at that moment, you didn't know what they were referring to.
That would be fair to say, correct.
But you still did it.
Did you have any other interactions with those neighbors that evening?
Yes. They called me after I got done doing my reports with the police, and I explained to them why there was so much police presence at my house afterwards, and that that the suspect was arrested at my house, or at my front porch.
And did they at any time say anything to you about seeing a vehicle or having knowledge of a vehicle at that time?
Yeah, Greg, my next door neighbor, saw the red vehicle running over people.
Oh, man.
And he saw that.
Mm-hmm.
He told you that he saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told me after I had, I don't know exactly what time, maybe 6:30 p.m. that night. when I called him after the fact, after I knew what had happened, then Greg told me that he had seen what had happened. A lot of my neighbors were at the parade.
Lots of witnesses.
Do you know if they gave any reports to law enforcement at that time?
I don't know that.
The officers that arrested the suspect at your home that evening, did you see your neighbors speak with any of those law enforcement officers?
I didn't see them, no. Speak with them, no.
Oh, man. This tiny pen insert.
And you stated that they told you what they saw. Any reason why they wouldn't speak with law enforcement, seeing as how they were right there in the area? Grounds.
Sustained.
Yeah. How did he know? He didn't. They didn't. Sure, they probably did.
So would it be safe to say you were pretty well informed that you would be testifying in this matter?
I didn't know. I knew that it was likely. I didn't know until I got the subpoena letter.
And when did you receive that subpoena?
I'm going to say September, maybe end of August.
And that was it was sent by the district attorney's office?
Yes.
Was it Sue Upper?
Do you recall the name?
No.
After receiving the subpoena, did you follow up with the district attorney's office?
They said that they would be emailing me with more details, and I waited until I got the initial email before I did any following up with the district attorney's office.
And were those emails pertaining to testifying in this matter?
Yes.
Have you yourself filed any claims in this matter?
No.
Did you hunt with the state of Wisconsin?
Have you yourself seen or read any complaint in this matter?
No.
Would you yourself consider yourself an injured party in this matter?
I'm going to say it word for word. Could have been, though.
Are you aware who the plaintiff is in this matter?
Oh,
Objection,
God.
grounds, relevance.
Sustained.
Just be done.
Would it be fair to say that you followed reporting on this incident?
Initially, yeah, I watched the news and followed the reporting on it.
Initially?
Well, like I haven't been following the trial, but I was following the initial reports back in November of last year.
So pretty much right when the incident happened is what you followed.
Correct. You know, the following week or so, or 2 weeks.
To see
You ever hear who the plaintiff was in this matter?
Oh,
Objection,
God.
grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Just stop it.
Have you yourself ever had any interaction with the plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Didn't he say the plaintiff went hunting with him? I'm sure he did.
Do you even know if there's a plaintiff in this matter? Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you recall how much you sold the ring footage for?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Overruled. He may answer.
I believe gross, it was a little over 23,000. But after taxes, and we donated a lot, so we saw a lot less than that afterwards.
Hmm.
Would it be fair to say that's quite a nice profit? Grounds.
Argumentative.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
I just think it's argumentative, and
would that be the price just for one of the ring footages, or in total, all that you sold?
That was total. Yeah.
The 4.
Like I said, I don't know how that worked. That was just the kickbacks that we got from working with the... So yeah, I guess all of it. All 4 footage that was distributed to the news.
how much did you make on your rap video, Darrell?
Do you recall which station that was? Which news station?
Objection.
I think it was like most of the NBC, ABC,
So it was multiple.
CBS. Yeah, I mean, I don't recall all of them, no. I don't exactly which ones it was. I don't know.
So it'd be fair to say it was pretty much all the standard news stations.
Yeah.
Do you recall if that included TMZ?
Oh, Lord.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained. You've made your point. You can move on.
Yeah, really. Please move on. He is not the one on trial. You are.
No further questions.
Thank
Thank you.
God.
Any redirect?
Thank you. Mr. Ryder, do you have your phone on you right now?
Ooh.
Overruled. He may answer.
I don't. I gave it to a gal that let me in here. She's got it, though.
He said the gal. A gal. Oh.
While we're waiting on that, you mentioned you checked your phone this morning to confirm that you still have the voicemail we've been talking about, right?
Yes.
Relevance.
Overruled. You questioned him about it. It's proper.
Yeah, you asked the questions.
I'm referring to the use of the phone.
Ah, never
You haven't
mind. Too
gotten there
late.
yet, sir. You're premature.
Uh-huh.
May answer.
You did check.
Yeah, I did.
If we were to provide your phone to you here today, do you think you'd be able to find that voicemail?
Objection.
Overruled. He may answer.
Ooh, you shouldn't
Yes.
have asked those
Do you
questions.
think you'd be able to play it on speakerphone for everybody to hear?
Objection. What is the relevancy?
Oh, I think there's...
Yeah, I can do that.
Relevant.
Love it, love it, love it.
There's a way to also play it through the technology.
You asked the questions, Brooks.
Objection. What is the relevancy?
Oh, there's plenty of relevancy. Hang on here.
I have a bill.
It's just a
You can
Coke.
unplug it from the charger. It's probably...
I went from Sprite to Coca-Cola.
Objection. What is the relevancy?
It's relevant.
Nah,
sir.
he's
You
getting-
cross-examined him about it.
You sure did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm cross-examining him about the question, not
Brooks,
playing the phone.
please.
Pipe
We are
down.
ruling.
See what happens?
Is that a judicial determination?
Go ahead, you may ask your next question. Attorney Witchell.
You're done, Brooks.
Please open up your phone and let me know when you find the voicemail.
This is beautiful. I love it. I love it.
It's still pulling up right now.
Sure. You followed instructions and turned your phone off before you came into court.
Objection.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, I turned the
Objection
phone off before
to
court.
what? Oh, yeah. First, Aaron got under your skin. Even the Lyft driver, I'm sure. And now, the sainted sandwich man. Look at Zach. He can't contain Sue Opera too. I love it. This is a beautiful moment because they've had to
Which I presume why he's loading that, not offering the voicemail for the truth of the matter asserted, but simply to substantiate that he received a call.
Yes.
The jury will be instructed in terms of what is said in that voicemail, not to consider it for the truth of the matter asserted, but just simply to substantiate the voicemail was received.
I was going to say
And part
after
of that request, Judge, would be to include the time that the voicemail was left and the number from which it came.
Objection. What is the relevancy of that?
The objection's noted, and you may ask the witness those questions.
plenty.
Might as well ask about the videos too.
You've already asked about the videos.
How much longer do you have? Which,
5 minutes. Well, I don't know how long this voicemail is, with that caveat.
all right, please continue.
It's okay.
29-second voicemail.
Okay, can you tell us...
I was just going to say really quick, after what Brooks has subjected all of them to, and he's the one who kept pounding and pounding, then he's trying to tell what the state to do. You might as well ask him about the videos. Your ship has sailed. You need to just be quiet, sit back, and watch the walls crumble around you.
What phone number that voicemail came from?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled, he may answer.
Very
The
relevant.
voicemail came from 1, so plus 1 or whatever. So 414-610-2153.
Can you tell us what time that voicemail came
And
in?
Yeah.
Relevancy.
Overruled, he may answer.
he can't stand it.
5:27 p.m. on November 21st
Of 2021?
of 2021.
Objection. Leading.
Overruled, his answer may stand.
And Your Honor, at this point, I'd ask to allow the witness to play that voicemail using speakerphone. And if that doesn't work great with the audio system, then we can try to plug it in now.
Once again, the jury, will only consider this not for the truth of the matter, what's asserted in that voicemail, but simply to substantiate that it was received. Go ahead.
Objection.
Noted.
Yeah, noted. Be
Overruled.
quiet.
Yes, Mr. Ryder, I don't know what's going on. I'm at work. I work at Trader, and my son, that was my son who you let use your phone.
Oh, sorry. I'll restart it. I was using the wrong
Yes,
mic.
Mr. Ryder, I don't know what's going on. I'm at work. I work at Trader, and my son, that was my son who you let use your phone, and he's calling. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to see if he got the Lyft or what, because the guy is in a white Charger. I guess apparently the Lyft driver switched cars, and I didn't get the message. So I'm just trying to find out what the hell is going on.
Ooh, what
So
the
I
hell?
just want someone to just call me and tell me something, because I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Under his skin.
And then that's the end of the voicemail.
Yes.
And you didn't contact the person who called you and left that voicemail after the fact, did you?
Objection. Ask and answer. Cross.
Overruled, he may answer.
No, I never contacted her.
Okay. The videos that we played in court today, those 4 videos, Exhibits 75, 77, 78, and 79, you turned all those videos over to the police, is that correct?
Objection. Leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
To whom did you turn those 4 videos over?
I emailed them to Officer, I believe it was Officer Lilling. There was a Rebecca Carpenter out of Eagle PD that wanted it, and I may have emailed it to somebody with West Dallas PD, but for sure Waukesha Police Department all got it that night.
While you got your phone in front of you, are you able to access your call log?
Yeah.
Objection, lady.
Yeah.
Can you go back to November 21st of
Shouldn't have asked
2021?
so many questions, Brooks, about that.
Okay.
Can you see what number Mr. Brooks dialed that day using your phone?
Objection, lady.
Overruled.
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
So my call log didn't save back that far. My voicemails did, but my call log, I've made so many calls since then that I didn't save that. I think the police definitely saved that number when they were at my house that night, though.
Do you recall if it was the same phone number that you received that voicemail from?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't recall for sure.
The videos that you released to the media, did you release anything to the media that you didn't also provide to the police?
Objection.
Overruled.
You're the one who asked all that.
Everything that was released to the media was already released to the police department.
Did you alter those videos or the audio that goes with them in any way when you released them to the media?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
It's
No,
not
I never
hearsay.
altered any of
Oh
them.
my
What
God.
about when you sent them to the police?
Objection, lady.
Overruled.
No, never altered them.
Were you aware at the time that Ring is a subscription service?
Objection, lady.
Oh,
Overruled.
wait a minute. He's getting
Yes, we
something.
pay subscription for it.
And there's a cloud account that goes with that, is that right?
Objection, lady.
Tech savvy.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
I think this is a pretty foundational question necessary to develop the
You're
testimony.
probably right, and it can be, some leading questions are allowed, but just rephrase that one, please, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Where do the videos go aside from your phone?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled.
There's an app on my phone that I was able to save and download off the app onto my phone. So there might be, I'm pretty sure that there's a Ring cloud that the company Ring can probably access the footage, but I was never notified that they had access to it or anything like that.
If someone did want to access those videos through Ring, were you aware at the time that someone would have been able to double check and make sure that you didn't budget that video?
Objection, lady.
Overruled if you're able to answer.
Yeah, I mean, Ring could, if we needed to get Ring to validate that it's correct, they would be able to do that.
Okay. When Mr. Brooks first knocked on your door, were you planning to sell those videos?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Objection, speculative.
It's not speculative.
Yeah.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Objection, hearsay.
It's
Oh
not
my
hearsay.
gosh. He's drowning.
No, I had
He's
no idea
drowning.
what was going to happen after that.
What about after you let him in the back door and gave him a sandwich and a jacket? Was this
Objection.
all part of a plan at that point?
Objection, lady.
I love how
Overruled,
Zach
may
words
answer.
things.
No, there's no plan to get footage to sell or anything like that, no.
You simply provided those videos to law enforcement and the media.
Objection, lady.
Overruled.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. I don't have anything else.
After the fact.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shut up,
You may
Brooks.
step down. It's a little after 12:09. We will take our lunch break. We went a little bit longer, so I'm going to take about a 90-minute lunch break today. So all rise for the jury. We are in recess. I'll see everyone at about 1:40.
Brooks is his own worst enemy. He really is. He gets all his panties get all in a wad. Because Zach is that good. He knows how to do that redirect. And he asked all those questions that kept going on and on about it. And then when Zach asked it, it just makes my heart feel a little bit happier. After what he put everyone through. So I thought that was good. So we're getting closer to that arrest part and the testimony of the people that arrested him and all that great stuff. So it's getting better and better. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope everyone's doing okay and having a good week. Thanks so much as always for watching, commenting, subscribing, and all of your kind words. I really do appreciate and love you all. So you know what to do. Be kind to everyone. Be kind to you. And I'll see you the next time.